Welcome to the Jeremiah Show. So, my special guest today, the second half here, we're talking to two artists from The Voice. My second guest today, amazing artist, amazing musician, Kyle Schuesler. He grew up and is currently in Huntington Beach right now. Huntington Beach, if listeners around the world, if you're not familiar with it, you probably are. You've probably seen it on television shows, but it's a really great little beachside surf town in California. Little lower than down the coast a little ways from LA. Kyle spent his younger years surfing with his dad, Jeff, and I just accused him of getting out of the ocean a little bit ago. He's not going to confirm or deny. In high school, Kyle got the music bug. He started taking vocal lessons and he auditioned for a music program at his school where he was voted the best male vocalist. Congratulations on that, Kyle. But Kyle wanted a bigger stage. Driven by inspiration from his family and a real passion for creating music and performing in front of audiences, he got that bigger stage and he got that bigger audience. On NBC's The Voice, season 25, the audience is over 5 million people. That's incredible. No pressure there, right, Kyle?
Not at all.
Kyle Schuesler nailed Coldplay's The Scientist during the Voice Blind auditions and amassed millions of views across TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. But most importantly, Kyle secured that last spot on Team Dan and Shay during the Voice Blind auditions. Kyle, welcome to the show and congratulations, my friend, on all of your success. I really enjoy watching you, and you're so talented, such a great voice, such a great musician.
Yeah.
Was it you? Yeah. Sorry.
Well, thank you for having me on the show, first of all, and I think you did a beautiful job explaining all that, where I'm from in the background. But I can give a little background on myself. I'm now 20 years old. Made it through those first 4 rounds of the Voice, and yeah, I'm just super blessed and grateful to be in this situation, and I'm just gonna keep on pushing with my music career and hopefully have a little summer tour come up this summer. So I mean, if any of you guys are around on the coastal California, anywhere from San Diego to San Francisco, we'll be playing shows, me and my band. So
oh, that's great. I got to catch up with you for sure. And yeah. I've got one location that you're going to be at. I'll give out here at the break. So I guess we could check your website as you add dates and add locations and venues. Just check back on the website. I'm sure. Kyle's website is kyleschuesler.com. So I'll spell it for you. KYLESCHUESLER.com. And there's you go there, you can click on shows and see what he's up to and where he's playing. I definitely want to get out and see you, though. I might drive down the coast to your upcoming show. I think it's on the 28th.
Yeah.
So was it your intention when you went to The Voice and you found out that you were on The Voice? Were you who did you want your coach to be? Was it Dan and Shay? Was that who you were focusing in on?
From the beginning, the second they told us Dan and Shay were going to be the debut coaches for season 25, I think I really had my heart set on Dan and Shay. They're, obviously some awesome musicians, and especially my genre, like kind of leans up that area and genre of like country music, but in the same sense, being able to like genre bend, and I think they just do that so well with, on their pop side, and then they also have this kind of like folky side and countryside. So I definitely have my heart set on Dan and Shay. With that being said, though, I cannot lie, going up on that stage and just seeing all these, awesome and insane musicians being, kind of talking back and forth and ultimately trying to get me on their team, it definitely persuaded me in different directions. I was like, oh, Reba Surtak. Oh, maybe I'm down with Reba. Oh, maybe I'm down with John Legend. But I think ultimately it came down to what I had my heart set on before I went up on that stage, and that was Dan and Shay. So I was super stoked to be able to score that last spot on their team.
That must be so much pressure, especially when you get more than one chair turn. Then you're looking, and you're like, God, how do I choose? Because you couldn't go wrong either way. But I think you made the right choice.
Yeah.
How would you describe your sound? You did it a little bit there, a little pop, folk,
Yeah.
country.
Yeah, so
I mean,
in terms of my songwriting, it's really up right now. It's been more of that like indie folk kind of space. You know, the Noah Kahn, the Zach Bryan, the Lumineers. Those are all some huge inspirations of mine. So I would say indie folk, but you can definitely throw me under some country here and there for sure.
so when I think of that, when I think of Huntington Beach, it in a way it's like Santa Barbara. It's a little beach town, right? A little surf beach town. Got great people that live there, but it's not really big, although that it's in the middle of LA, really on the coast there. But it's Huntington Beach is sort of a small town in a way, and I think I don't think country, I don't think folk. I I don't know what I think, but I how how were you influenced by growing up there, and why did where how did you find your sound? What you
Yeah,
want to?
yeah. You know what's funny is I feel like a lot of big bands that come out of this area, you look at like the Dirty Heads, and you know they're that kind of reggae surf, and then there's even like Avenged Sevenfold, who are like gnarly rockers, and uh, Sublime, you know, it was in the area and recorded some stuff, you know, more like Long Beach area, and they're reggae too. And right now I'm currently opening up for a reggae band, Cali Conscious, doing some shows coming up here. But yeah, I don't know if I have a specific answer on why. I think it's more like my music that I write comes solely from the music I'm into and listening to. So
Hmm.
if I'm listening to reggae music for 3 days straight, then I write a song. It might turn out more reggae. If I'm listening to Noah Kahn, it might be super folky. If I'm listening to Morgan Wallen or Ernest or one of those guys, you know, I might write like a super country song. So it's really all over the place. But I think I've definitely started to kind of settle in my own genre, being in that indie folk genre, and kind of having my mind space be in an area that isn't so beachy and so like Huntington style, and it's more thinking, okay, that coastal NorCal, Big Sur. You know, I always am listening to the Lumineers. I'm always listening to that folk music. I'm always listening to Mount Joy when I'm up north. So I kind of envision being up there when I'm riding down here. So I think that's where I'm kind of falling right now in terms of my genre.
Hmm. Well, if you because we're just getting to know each other, right, Kyle? That's what we're doing here. We're trying to get to know the artist, trying to get to know the guy behind the music. If you had a theme song that accurately told strangers who you were, can you name one? Give us an idea of like something that tells strangers who you are as a person, as an artist. There's a song that really resonates with you?
I really like
Tough question.
I mean, I think you can't go anywhere. You can't go wrong with anything Lumineers. But I'm a huge Eric Clapton fan. I grew up listening to Eric Clapton. I grew up playing a Stratocaster. One of my favorite songs is "Lay Down Sally" by him, and uh, I feel like The Voice asked me one time like what song they wanted me to kind of throw in as like something that the viewers can kind of get to know me as, and that was what I put was "Lay Down Sally" by Eric Clapton. But I mean, you can't go wrong with the Lumineers, anything from them as well. So
That kind of gives a nice idea to who you are and what you like in music. When you play, you talked about whatever you're listening to at that time can inspire you and inspire your creativity as a music artist. And I know that you play a lot of instruments. Could you name? Can you tell us what you play?
yeah, right now I've been getting into mandolin and banjo. So I've been playing those two instruments a lot lately, and then obviously, acoustic and electric guitar, and then harmonica, vocals. My mom's a piano teacher, so I
Oh,
dabble with piano, but it's kind of hard learning when it's your mom teaching you. I think I learned that at a young age. I was like, I'm not gonna do this. I hate piano just because my mom was teaching me, and you think you can talk back to your mom, and then you realize later, oh wait, maybe I should have listened to you.
yeah. So have you taken on piano training on your own without your mom? It's a little,
Um, well, nowadays I'm super open to letting my mom help me with stuff, but as a kid, it was not that way.
yeah. All you want to do is get off that bench and get outside. Uh,
Exactly.
well, that's interesting that you play all those instruments, and that probably helps you and your band create different sounds, right? I would imagine that you can go different areas, different directions.
Totally, yeah. I had a guitar player for the longest time. We played all throughout high school together. He's a great lead guitar player, and I just had him hop on. I was like, "Do you want to maybe try the banjo? Because I don't really want to have to worry about playing the banjo when I'm playing or when I'm singing. I just want to strum the guitar." And he was open to it. So recently, I let him take over on the banjo. So yeah, it's for sure helped my sounds, especially in live settings too. So I think
What's
it's
your band's name?
it's just me, and then I have a band that backs me. But yeah, I used to have a trio band. We were called Nose Coat. It was me and my brother and my friend Luke on the bass. And Nose Coat's like a if you're anywhere coastal, you probably know it's a sunscreen. I think it's that zinc sunscreen, and that everybody like we used it in junior guards, and we did more kind of that surf style music. So that was our band name for a while. And now it's just me, and I got a whole another band that backs me.
What's the friend that you mentioned? Give his name out. Give him a little plug.
Oh yeah, Luke Adelman.
Luke
He was on the
Adelman.
great Luke Adelman, great bass player. And then my brother Cody Schuesler on the drums. Can't go wrong with him.
Nice. If you walk into a room and you've got all those instruments, which one do you gravitate to the most?
Guitar. I think
Guitar.
acoustic. Yeah, for sure.
So at this stage in your life, you've accomplished so much already in your music career and going down that path. Um,
Mm.
what is that path for you right now? What's ahead of you?
Yeah. It's funny you say that. Sometimes I don't even think I have to look back a lot and go, okay, wow, I have done like some crazy stuff being pretty young. So, but at the same time, it's like I'm always pushing for something higher. I'm always thinking of these things as stepping stones. And for me, it's to just like sell out arenas or whatever one day and just go on tour and, have my headlining shows. But I think the next steps for me would be, uh, opening up for an artist that I really love. So, I'm trying to get it in the works in terms of opening, but yeah, just
Mm-hmm.
playing shows around nearby.
Has it been rewarding so far? Because you do have to stop and go, wait a minute, let me look around and look where I came from, look where I'm at, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard to do that when you're in the middle of it.
For sure. There was like this quote that I heard one time, and it was happiness is finding peace in the process. So I think that's a super sick quote to kind of look back on. It's like if you can just stop and think and be like, okay, well, I'm already, halfway there, quarter way there, and you never know when you're actually there. So it could be just right around the corner, it could be years from now, but whatever. I think whatever it is getting that peace in that process is really key.
Yeah, I talked to so many musicians that have made it, to selling out those arenas, big names, to up and come, music artists that are just starting out, and everybody says, and especially those music artists that have made it and have done it for 40 plus years. Um, I talked to Eric Clapton's drummer Emery not too long ago, and they're selling out stadiums. But what they say is, what you just stop, like where you're at that moment. It doesn't get better than that, and then there will be
Yeah.
something that's better than that, but it
Yeah.
doesn't get better than that. It's where if you can stop and really appreciate where you're at, you'll enjoy the road much more.
Totally.
Have you faced any big time music obstacles in the music business? Anything that's pushed up against you that you've overcome or that you had to face so
Yeah,
far?
I think at first, actually a few months ago, I went to Nashville for the first time to go do some co-writes, and I had never written with anybody except myself. So it was always just me and my guitar, laying down a song, and I got asked to do a few different co-writes up in Nashville, and I went there and I didn't know what to expect. And turns out it's like honestly one of the greatest things in terms of songwriting, because when you're writing by yourself, you can always get that songwriting block where you don't want to, or you can't even find a way to get to that verse, you can't find a way to get to that chorus. But when you have two amazing songwriters beside you, you can, kind of lean on each of them to get you through that obstacle of finishing a song. And then turns out, I didn't even know this, but you can write 4 songs in one day. And I was always like, oh, I'm just gonna do a verse today, a chorus tomorrow, and then maybe one next week. But yeah, so I've been super into that whole co-writing process, and then just making it out to Nashville. I have an awesome producer named Matt Bromley, and he's producing my 2 next singles that should be out here pretty soon. But um, yeah, I think it's really cool just getting in rooms with songwriters that have written songs that I listen to every day and I love. So that's been a super cool opportunity.
You and Nashville helps, doesn't it? Being out there, doesn't it? Just the history there, the whole vibe really helps
I
with
don't
songwriting.
I don't know what it is. I feel like I went there. I went there one time. I had a co-write with I think about four different writers, and since then it's just been like blooming. It's just every day I'm getting another call from somebody else who wants to do a session, and it's like it's so cool to think all it took was just like that opportunity to go to Nashville and get in with those artists, because once you get in with one artist, it's like I feel like with songwriters, even more than musicians, is they're so willing to help out. However big you are of a musician, they're willing to help out and get you connected with their producer or their friend's producer or this big artist. And they're all like, whether you get in the room with that person, there's no sweat for them to just send a text. So I think that's really cool. I don't know if that's like I haven't been in the I don't know if that's just Nashville and that kind of bond everybody has, but that's how I've only experienced great things from being out there.
Well, the music business, either in Nashville or Hollywood or wherever you're at in the world. It's small. It's like that
Mm,
small high
mhm.
school class. So you're going to
Yeah.
see the same people over and over. And if you build that network and
Yeah.
treat people well, you'll do really well. I wanted to ask you about your comment a moment ago about eventually you want the end goal is sell out those stadiums and sell out massive venues and
Mhm.
really share your music with your fans. In order to get there, you've got to build fan after fan after fan, right? And really, how do you plan on doing that? Like, what is your interaction with fan? What is your relationship with your fans right now? It's so important, right? To doing what you want to do.
It is so important. I think so many people that are getting big engagement on social media tend to kind of just, fly by the fact that it's just another follower. I think for me, it's important to I'm getting a lot better at it, but really engaging with those fans, because if it's just in a like when you have a friend who's just an acquaintance instead of that close friend of yours, it's like maybe you're not going to go to his house and hang out with him, but you'll hang out with your best friend. So it's like I think it's really important to engage with your fans, whether that's in the comments or setting up an email list on your website and
Or
having them
even
go to that.
live, right? How about live? I mean,
Oh yeah,
what
totally.
as a live performer, do you get out there and you know talk to them?
Yeah, totally. After every show, I mean, I'm always trying to go around and talk to everybody and network and really just build relationships. I think it's super important, because I think you can have 100,000 followers or 1 million followers or 10 million followers, but the people that are going to go out to your show are not just the ones that like your music, but like you as a person as well.
Right,
So I
right.
think that's where I'm
What
at with that.
You got that though. You got that very likable quality. Not only very talented Kyle, but you've got that uh, down to earth kind of connectability and that quality that I could see really would go well with your fans. Before we go to take our first break here, I wanted to ask you about your father because you've talked about him a little bit, and he's inspired you. He's got a great work ethic. Your father's Jeff, right?
Yes.
What? Tell me about that. What did he do, and how did he inspire you with his work ethic?
Totally. Yeah. So he's worked every job you can think. I definitely didn't get the math from that because I failed math in high school many times.
You and me both.
But yeah, he went through a kidney transplant. My sister gave him a kidney, um, and that was kind of a hard time for all of us because I feel like we're all such like we were in a very comfortable time, and then that kind of just hit. But to see how he bounced back from that and how he's healthy now and he's surfing every day, I think that's already enough in terms of work ethic. It's like being able to do that and being able to be that genuine, kind person still is is huge. So I definitely look up to that and just the way I treat people or the way I go about life and kind of just thinking like, okay, there's a lot of other horrible things going on. So being in this spot right now is just I'm super blessed. So
We're glad you're here, Kyle. All right, we're gonna go to take our first break here. We're gonna take you to break with Kyle Schuesler. Say You Won't Let Go by James Arthur. This is the Voice Knockouts, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Let me tell you before, though, I let you go, how you can find Kyle. You want to find Kyle Schuesler. You want to follow Kyle Schuesler. You want to check him out when he's performing. He's an incredible performer and musician. Go to kyleschuesler.com. I'll spell it for you. Kyle, Kyle, Schuesler, SCHUESLER.com. And you can find him on Instagram at Kyle Schuesler. If you go to his website, all his social links are there. And coming up on May 18th, Kyle Schuesler and Callie Conscious perform at Sea Legs at the beach at Bolsa Chica State Beach and Huntington Beach. Take a drive down, or if you're in Huntington Beach or anywhere near it, check this show out. It starts at 2 p.m. and it goes to sunset. You can go get tickets now at bandsintown.com and get VIP access to Kyle. Go to kyleschueslerthevoice.com. Follow Kyle's journey. Sign up to get an unreleased video of a on The Voice, and he just recently recorded it in studio, but you got to sign up at kyleschueslerthevoice.com and get VIP access. You can contact Kyle Schuesler if you'd like him to perform or play at your venue at kyleschueslermusic@gmail.com. And we will be right back with more.